Hi, I'm Mike in the Film Lab on thesubstream.com, and this is Gear Guide Part 2, Part Dos, that's Spanish for 2, of our exploration of the world of HMI lamps. What are they? Where did they come from? Why would I ever use one? That's stuff that we talked about last week. And today, thanks to the wonderfully smart people at White's Interactive who have let us get our greasy mitts on some, we're going to show you how exactly to set them up. I have two of them here today. This is called a 575 PAR. The PAR part I'll explain in a bit, but the 575 refers to the fact that it uses 575 watts to produce its light. That's a bigger one, obviously, that's a 1200, but functionally and structurally, they're the same. That one's just scaled up. Now, all HMI lamps consist of 4 parts. You've got the lamp head, which contains the bulb. You've got a UV filter in front to block out all the cancer rays, and then behind you've got a PAR, a PAR, a parabolized, aluminized reflector that collects all of the extra light from the bulb and bounces it out straight out the front. Now, unlike most normal lamps, you can't control the position of the bulb in relation to the actual reflector, which means that all PAR lamps come with this, a box of lenses. In this case, 4 lenses. They've got kind of wide lenses that diffuse the beam of light and help send it out wide. It looks like a bunch of kind of insect eyeballs. You've got your medium lens, which is the same idea, but less so, more medium. And it's got a spot lens, as well as a Fresnel lens that looks like the front of a Fresnel lamp. Now, it's really important. These things are really expensive and they're really fragile, and they always get lost by film students and just starting out filmmakers on set. So when you set up your lamp, you want to make sure that the lens case, after you take your lens out, gets shut, the clasp shut, and stored near the lamp. So nobody can kick it, nobody will forget it. It always happens. It's a good thing to avoid. So you pull this latch, and release that top thing like that. You slide this in. I should be wearing gloves, but I'm not. Like this. You shut it, and then you're good to go. The other 2 parts of every PAR lamp are a ballast and a head cable, which connects the ballast to the lamp head. This ballast down here is an old-fashioned one. It's called a magnetic ballast, or Gonk box on set. They call it Gonk box because it looks like Gonk, the droid from Star Wars. What they all do is moderate and control the amount of electricity that comes from the wall or the generator and makes it to the lamp head. And they also provide the huge spike of voltage that the lamp needs when it sparks or starts up for the first time. And this thing, the magnetic ballast, is really big, really heavy, really easy to use. Unfortunately, they have a drawback that for a long part of the history of HMI lamp was a drawback about HMI lamps, which is that when you're shooting with weird frame rates, like super slow motion, for example, or using weird shutter angles, you can get flickers from HMI lamps. And I'll link underneath this video to a cool online tool that you can put all your data in to see if you're getting any flicker using a magnetic ballast and an HMI lamp. However, recently they've invented this thing, which is an electronic ballast, which does really smart science to the sine wave of electricity to change it into a square wave of electricity. These things are also called square wave ballasts, to completely eliminate the flicker of an HMI lamp. So how do you set them up? Here's what you do. First thing you do is you plug in the ballast, like so. Then you make sure that everything's powered off. And you also want to make sure that this ballast, you can see it's got 2 inputs for 575 and 1200 watts. You can run either lamp. We're going to be demonstrating the 575, so you want it on 575. And you want auto off, because we want to control when we're going to turn the lamp on. We don't want the ballast to control it. Then you take the male end of the head cable, like so. You find this little slot in the end of the cable. You align that with the pin on the input and the ballast, and then twist the collar until you hear it click. Then you do the opposite, but the same, with the female end of the cable into the male end on the lamp. You find the pin, you find the slot, you twist until it clicks, and then, here's a clever tip, you always want to tie, if you can, the cable to the actual lamp stand. Like so that there's less stress on this joint. So once you've got that connection made, you turn the power on, and then you announce to everyone, sparking. Hello everyone, attention, I'm sparking, I'm turning the lamp on. So protect your eyes and protect your children. I'm about to spark. Then you turn the lamp on with the green button here. And hopefully, I don't know if you can see this, but an interesting thing about HMI lamps is they take a while to come up to temperature. They're not the right color temperature when you first turn them on. It takes a little while, so don't turn them on immediately and then start shooting. That would be goofy. One of the other neat little things about these lamps is, if you look over here, as a consequence of running in flicker-free mode, these lamps can actually make this weird kind of buzzing, humming noise occasionally. So if that's wrecking your audio recording, you come over here, and if you're not that worried about running in flicker-free mode, because you're not running in super slow motion because you're recording audio, you switch it from flicker-free mode to silent mode, and then that weird little buzzing noise goes away. How convenient. So now you're shooting a really cool daylight light with controllable spread using the lenses that are down at my feet, running flicker-free or running in silent mode. That's how to set these things up. They're a really great tool, and they're way, way, way better when you're dealing with sunlight as part of your production schematic than correcting tungsten lamps, which is wasteful, inefficient, and a huge pain in the derriere. Check us out next week. We'll be back, something even more interesting than this.